Life in Anglo-Saxon England was a tapestry woven with threads of culture, tradition, and survival. Picture a time when the sun rose over rolling hills, casting light on small villages and bustling towns. The air was filled with the sounds of daily life, the clanging of metal, the laughter of children, and the distant call of a rooster. The Anglo-Saxons were a group of tribes that settled in England. From the 5th century onwards, they brought with them their own customs, languages, and beliefs. Society was structured around kinship and loyalty. Families lived in close-knit communities, often in wooden houses with thatched roofs. These homes were simple but functional, with a central hearth for cooking and warmth. The heart of Anglo-Saxon life was the village. Here everyone had a role. Farmers tilled the land, growing crops like barley, wheat, and rye. They raised livestock, including cattle, sheep, and pigs. The rhythm of life revolved around the seasons. Spring was for planting, summer for tending, autumn for harvesting, and winter for resting. Craftsmen played a vital role in these communities. Blacksmiths forged tools and weapons. Weavers created textiles from wool and flax. Potters shaped clay into vessels for cooking and storage. Each craft was passed down through generations, ensuring that skills were preserved. Religion was deeply ingrained in Anglo-Saxon life. Initially, they worshipped pagan gods like Woden and Thunor. However, with the arrival of missionaries, Christianity began to take root. Churches were built and the old ways slowly faded. The new faith brought with it a sense of community and shared values. Education was limited, but it existed. Monasteries became centers of learning. Monks copied manuscripts, preserving knowledge for future generations. They taught reading and writing, primarily in Latin. This was a time when literacy was a privilege, reserved for the clergy and the wealthy. The Anglo-Saxon legal system was based on customs and traditions. Disputes were settled in local courts, often overseen by a lord or a king. Oaths were taken seriously. A person's word was their bond. Justice was often swift, with punishments ranging from fines to exile. Life was not without its challenges. The threat of invasion loomed large. Viking raids began in the late 8th century, striking fear into the hearts of the Anglo-Saxons. Villages were pillaged and people were taken captive. The need for defense became paramount. Fortifications were built, and warriors trained to protect their homes. Despite these threats, the Anglo-Saxons thrived. They celebrated life with feasts and festivals. The harvest was a time of joy, marked by communal gatherings. People danced, sang, and shared stories around the fire. These moments of respite were essential for maintaining morale. Art and literature flourished during this period. The epic poem Beowulf emerged, telling tales of heroism and adventure. The craftsmanship of metalwork and jewelry reached new heights. Intricate designs adorned weapons and everyday items, showcasing the skill of artisans. Women played a crucial role in Anglo-Saxon society. They managed households, cared for children, and contributed to farming. Some women held positions of power, like queens and abbesses. They wielded influence and were respected for their wisdom. Trade was vital for the economy. Markets sprang up in towns where goods were exchanged. The Anglo-Saxons traded with neighboring cultures, importing spices, textiles, and luxury items. This exchange enriched their lives and broadened their horizons. As the years passed, the Anglo-Saxon kingdoms began to unify. Kings like Alfred the Great emerged, leading their people against invaders. They fostered a sense of identity and pride. The idea of a united England began to take shape. However, the winds of change were blowing. The Norman Conquest in 1066 marked the end of Anglo-Saxon rule. The tapestry of life in England would be forever altered. But the legacy of the Anglo-Saxons lived on. Their language, culture, and traditions laid the foundation for what would become modern England. In the end, life in Anglo-Saxon England was a blend of struggle and triumph. It was a time of heroes and legends, of faith and community. The echoes of their lives resonate through history, reminding us of the resilience of the human spirit.